If you watched the first video about sexual immorality, I presented you with an explanation of the problem. You should have a clear understanding of what sexual immorality is, what Elohim has to say about it in his word, and the overall grand perspective of the problem. Again, the problem is that sexual immorality is not just a problem today because our flesh is weak. It's a problem because Satan knows our flesh is weak and he is creating an environment used to exploit our weaknesses. If you have not watched part 1, please click this link at the top and gain an understanding. You can't learn solutions if you don't completely understand the problem. I compared the problems to us being like Superman, but living in a world surrounded by kryptonite. And it really is like that. The only difference is that Superman can't defend himself against kryptonite. He can only avoid exposure to it. And while this is part of the strategy, it can't be the only strategy because it is really unavoidable. So you need to know how to not let kryptonite affect you. You can build power over your kryptonite. Now here's the thing. This is not an easy task to take on. If you're a boxer in the boxing ring with this problem, it's very probable that it will keep punching back, trying to get you to remain defenseless. Some of my solutions may seem difficult, like you're not able to do them because it requires too much. So let me explain this. This is all about growing a stronger relationship with the Father. In part 1, I showed you that sexual immorality would keep you out of the kingdom of heaven. And while I love women and everything about them, I realized that there was nothing more important than my salvation and surrendering to the love of Elohim. He never gives us more than we can handle, so I needed to find strength to handle my issues and defeat Satan. I don't know where you are on your journey with him, but I know if you're watching this, it's because you believe in him and you understand that this is a big problem. So like I said, some of these solutions may seem a little difficult or counterculture of today. That is because as followers of Yahshua, we are not to be of this world. So while society is moving in one direction and shows that its values are this, we need to stay steadfast and go back to the behaviors that produce righteousness. I also want to tell you that these are all strategies that I have done myself. Am I perfect? No. I just told you I love women. If I didn't, I would have an even bigger problem on my hands. I get distracted by a beautiful woman or can sometimes get thrown off the tracks. But the difference is it does not control me any longer, and I'm able to reel it in fast so that I'm not affected or led into sin. So this is about building strength to defeat your enemy, and the enemy is always Satan. What you are learning to battle against today is the lust of the eyes and flesh. So let's handle it. Strategy number 1. You need Elohim's help. You must include him first. Let me say that again. You need Elohim's help. You will not and cannot do this on your own. In Yahshua's model prayer in Matthew chapter 6, he tells you to ask the Father to deliver you from temptation. But you know how many people actually do this? Not many. Or we ask it of him once and forget about including him later on. He needs to be the first one that you go to. When I realized how weak I was, I had to bring it to him. Anytime I felt my weakness, I brought it to him. I asked for his forgiveness, I asked for more strength, and I asked to deliver me from it so that it's not an issue for me. He didn't answer me right away. But after I sincerely prayed this same prayer, I just remember one day looking at a picture of a woman that normally would have turned me on. It actually turned me off. I was more disgusted by her than attracted. Then instead of seeing these women that were exposing themselves to me as sexy, I began to feel sorry for them. I began to see the sexual spirits and demons that were in them. I began to see these over-sexual actors and entertainers as actual demons with a human body, and they were being tortured by these demons, but they had to do it in order to keep what they had. My point of view changed, and I did not do this on my own. You have to give it to him. He has to be included in the solution. If you're not taking this step, you will fail, so you might as not even start. The other steps, I believe, are things that you need to do to show that you are serious and that you want to be different. Which brings me to the next strategy. Strategy number 2. Keep rebuking the devil in the name of Yahshua. Engage in spiritual warfare. Anytime you feel the feeling of lust or sexual immoral thoughts coming into your mind, you must understand this is the devil and his squad coming at you. Rebuke the devil and the spirit of lust. Close the doorways. Bind and cast off every spirit. This is how you do it. Say this aloud. I rebuke you, devil, in the name of Yahshua. I rebuke you, spirit of lust, in the name of Yahshua. You have no power over me in the name of Yahshua. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Remove yourself from me. I bind and cast off every spirit of lust, perversion, and uncleanliness within my life in the name of Yahshua. This is fighting in the spirit realm. This is where our battles are to be fought. You rebuke the devil and use scripture against him. Anytime you see yourself slipping, you must engage in spiritual warfare. I use that scripture often, Ephesians 6:12, but you can use other scriptures in reference to battling spirits like 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. Strategy number 3. You must remove yourself from sexually immoral content. Now I'm speaking in regard to television, movies, and music. Stop watching sex scenes. Definitely stop watching porn. Stop listening to jokes that talk about sexually immoral behavior. Stop listening to music that promotes sexual behavior. If the content is sexually immoral, remove it from your eyes and ears. If you're trying to lose weight, do you still go and eat fast food every day? In order to clean your body and get rid of the weight dragging you down, you must stop taking in what is bad for you. All of that content is like eating McDonald's every day. You are rotting out your heart. You're gaining a tolerance for sin. You cannot fight the devil while playing with him on his turf. If you are rebuking him and taking in his content, you will lose. Change your content. Watch content from Pure Flix, or find good music entertainers like Sean Burgundy and Flame that give you the same rhythm and flows but do not promote immorality. Change your content. Strategy number 4. Either delete your social media or only use it to be filled or fill up others. Listen, many today can say that they do not watch TV, movies, or listen to music. But if you're on social media, this can be more dangerous than those other forms of media. Social media literally takes your weaknesses and exploits them the most. They suggest explicit behavior to you. Your friends make immoral posts that make you laugh or makes you tolerant of sin, or you can look at immorality unnoticed or unchecked. Nobody knows what you're doing on there. Either way, if you're not strong, social media can be your worst enemy. If you're strong enough, use it to reach people you normally would not be able to reach, or use it to be filled up from others that are seeking to keep you in the Father's will. But if you're not strong enough, you need to delete it. If you happen to come across a beautiful woman that's showing her great body and you're strong enough to ignore it and keep strolling, then social media should not be an issue for you. But if you see things like this, and then you want to go look at other pictures and then other pictures, next thing you know you're following them, you need to delete or just get off social media for a while. Delete the app off your phone. You have to be honest with yourself though. The point of the strategy in strategy number 3 is to remove yourself from content that promotes sin. The more you see it, the more you grow in tolerance for it. Yahshua said it's better to remove an eye than for your whole body to be cast into hell. Take heed of this. Get off these things if it makes you weak instead of making you strong. I will also say, if you're using social media to promote your business and you know you're weak, either be very strict with what you're doing or get somebody else to handle it for you. Strategy number 5. Don't have sex. Okay, this is for those that are of a younger age and are not married. Listen, I know that everything in your loins is calling out for something like a Nicki Minaj to take care of you. The devil has created this trap for you. You will never find a Nicki or a Kim or a Beyonce, but you will keep chasing the illusions of them. And the problem is, once you have sex with one girl, and then you find out that another will let you have sex with them too, it never stops. Then you are on a roller coaster, and it's very hard for you to get off. Once you've had a second partner, it's like having a hit of crack, and now you're addicted. The best thing to do for your walk with Yahshua is abstain from sexual activity. I know this is very difficult to do. I know the world looks at virgins today as stupid or weird. It's literally evil being good and good being evil. You must be strong though. Protect your relationship with the Father. Make that your priority. You will miss him and the kingdom of heaven for engaging in sexually immoral behavior. Don't just listen to me. Go to the page in the description box that lists the scriptures that tells you directly. It's really not worth it. Find a girl or guy that appreciates your desire to please the Father. Now they're a keeper. Now, if you're already having sex, this is still for you as well. You need to stop. This is why I said the information and strategy is going to be hard. What are you going to do if he comes tomorrow and you're having sex with a person that you have not committed to, you're engaged or not? If he or she does not approve, maybe they're not really the one for you. You need to stop engaging in behavior that Yahweh will reject you for. Your partner, no matter how much you love them, is not worth you missing him. This is one of those things that we choose to ignore. You cannot. If it really is an issue and it's really that hard for you, you need to move to strategy number 6. Strategy number 6, get married. Now, I'm not talking about a $100,000 ceremony or anything like that. It does not need to be as the world does it. But you do need to take vows of commitment before Elohim. Pledge to honor, protect, and love her through everything, and make her your wife. If you want to do the wedding ceremony later for everyone, then you should. But if you are already proposed and you cannot keep it in your pants, you need to take serious vows that you keep. You need to do it in front of witnesses and before Elohim. Pledge it to him. Then you are married, and when you engage in sexual activity, you are not out of the will of the Father. Men, you must take the lead on this because it's possible your wife may not understand. Tell her she can still have the big ceremony and do it in front of all her friends and family. But if you want to please Elohim and you know that you are still engaging in sex, please do this. Have a small ceremony amongst your parents or close friends and make your pledges and vows amongst Elohim. This way you are not engaging in behavior that is against him. I know a friend that was engaged 3 times. It's like he likes being engaged more than actually being married. It's because he wanted to seem like he was making a commitment even though he actually wasn't. This is how your engagement is until you made it official. If you are engaging in sexual behavior before you have made a commitment, you do not want this decision to keep you from him, or you do not want this behavior to be a stumbling block for others. Get married, and if they are not willing to follow your lead, they are not for you. Trust me, you did yourself a favor. But like I said earlier, this advice goes against the normal ways of this world, and you need strength and strong desire to please him and do his will. This is a big problem for many. And if you are over 18, you are not too young to be married. Strategy number 7. Masturbating is not okay. I know we like to think that because we're not engaging in sexual activity with another person, we are not doing anything wrong and it's safer than actually having sex with other people. You still are defiling yourself, and it's stupid because you're by yourself. You're engaging in sexually impure thoughts that produce lust, and you're using your vessel in a way that is not intended to be used. I'm keeping it very simple. It's not okay, and you should not be doing it. If you are watching porn, you need to stop this immediately. Strategy number 8. Change your company. If you're hanging with a bunch of friends that promote this immoral behavior, then you should remove yourself from these friends. Until you're able to be more of an influence on them than they are on you, you need to avoid them. I have friends that I knew all my life, but early on in my walk, I had to stop engaging with them because they made me weak. It was a constant reminder to who I used to be and not to who I was becoming. If you want to be better, you can't be unequally yoked. A lot of us only use that scripture in regard to our relationship with the opposite sex, but it also has to do with our friends. If you're trying to live for Elohim, but everyone else you know is playing games with him, you need to remove yourself from those influences, and don't pick new ones that do the same thing. Satan often uses them to bring back your weaknesses. He will find people that know your weaknesses and bring them to you to bring you down. Or they can try to deter you from doing what you feel led to do, telling you that what you're doing is stupid or pointless. Just remember, this is your walk, not theirs. It cannot do you well by being around things that make you weak. Remove yourself from the company that makes you weak, even if they are your only friends. Sometimes the walk of a believer is lonely. You may find yourself with no friends or family. Just remember, you must be ready for it and deal with it. It's better for you to remove yourself from the friends and acquaintances that draw you into sin than for you to keep them around and let them draw you into hell. Strategy number 9. Don't go places that feed your weak flesh. Stop going to parties or clubs. Stop going to places that you know you will engage in the wrong type of behavior. Sometimes that wrong place can also be going to your church. There are church freaks. Demons do go to church too, and it's not for them to worship. If you go to places that promote sexual immorality to you, stay away from them at all times until you're strong enough to combat the enemy. If you go to churches that stay away from the conversation against sexual immorality, you must beware of them. Strategy number 10. Don't look at them as looking good, but as a trap. If you change your perception of what you're seeing, then it makes the battle very easy to fight. But I'll be honest with you, I didn't do this on my own. The Father did this for me. He changed my perception of what I saw. The reason I'm saying this as a strategy is because maybe you're stronger than me, and this is something that He doesn't need to do for you. Maybe you can do it on your own. If so, do it. When you see them as a trap, you avoid it. If you see it as enticing, you go towards it. Change your perception. So all of these strategies need to be used. Let's repeat them one more time. Strategy number 1. You need Elohim's help. You must include Him first. Strategy number 2. Keep rebuking the devil in the name of Yahshua. Engage in spiritual warfare. Strategy number 3. You must remove yourself from sexually immoral content. Strategy number 4. If your flesh is really weak, delete your social media, or only use it to be filled or fill up others. Strategy number 5. Don't have sex. Strategy number 6. Get married. Strategy number 7. Masturbating is not okay. Strategy number 8. Change your company. Strategy number 9. Don't go places that feed your weak flesh. Strategy number 10. Don't look at them as looking good, but look at them as being a trap. If you practice these strategies, you should be better equipped to combat sexual immorality as well as other things that you are weak on. These strategies are not at all easy, and you will come against people that try to deter you and tell you not to do them or make fun of you. Like I said earlier, this is your walk, not theirs. Be an example to others. Don't let them be the wrong example to you. I think if you engage in these strategies, they will definitely help you. If you have other strategies that work for you, please share them with me. I'm going to place these strategies on my website so you can always go back to them. If you have other things I can add, please share them with me. We are all one body. I speak to you about this because I've struggled with this too. I know it's not easy, but you must conquer it. I hope this video gives you a good start towards it. So if this has blessed you, please like and share this. If you know of others that can benefit from this, please pass it on. If you have not already subscribed, please do so. Please don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. This video was made and dedicated to one of my brothers I correspond with on Instagram, and he made a special request for all. I'm thankful for his friendship and dedication to building a stronger relationship with the Father. Thank you all for watching, and thanks again for all the support. I love you all.